I mean, he just glanced like, oh, thank God I stopped. That was a close one.
These guys talk for a living.
I know.
They talk for a living. They think they know more than Trump. It really is embarrassing.
A peace deal with Ukraine. So again, with President Trump, watch. I've said this. You, the American worker, you subsidize the world, okay? The left right now, their mantra is very clear. Their solution to everything is status quo and more money. And I want you to, as it relates to this administration, no one is perfect, look at results. The more you can eliminate feelings from it, the more you'll be able to see our situation for what it is. There's good and there's bad, mostly good. Watch what President Trump does, not just what he talks about. This, of course, is very important as it relates to Ukraine because we always knew the strategy as it relates to Ukraine. And I also want you to see, if you want to have a good gauge for who's a propagandist out there, look at the people who were saying that Donald Trump was Russia's stooge.
Yeah.
And have flipped now, saying, "I can't believe it. He's in bed with Ukraine." That's what you see right now. And we'll get to these Russian representatives because we found out yesterday that Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire. They've agreed to a ceasefire. There's a deal that proves it. But just in case you haven't been up to date on this, we have a then and now to prove it. So remember, back then, President Trump he's a stooge for Putin. He's buddying up with dictators. He is abandoning our greatest ally, a beacon of democracy, Ukraine.
Ukraine may not survive.
So for now, we're going to focus a lot more on what he's doing. And since last Friday's fight in the Oval Office, the things he's doing are hurting Ukraine and helping Vladimir Putin.
Donald Trump's decision to abandon Ukraine and side with Vladimir Putin is disgusting. And it's dangerous for every American.
Where Donald Trump and J.D. Vance
looks like a gargoyle mid-transition,
demonstrating a certain amount of strength.
A dumb astronaut.
But they really showed the American
First
people,
dumb
the rest of the
astronaut
world,
ever.
was weakness, abandoning our ally.
For the first time in modern history, we have a president who is aligning himself with authoritarian governments all over the world.
So his moves are either idiotic.
He looks like he just glanced at the Ark of the Covenant.
Designed to
just a little
Ukraine in favor of Putin.
I mean, he just glanced like, oh, thank God I stopped. That was a close one.
These guys talk for a living.
I know.
They talk for a living. They think they know more than Trump. It really is embarrassing.
Well, the best example, of course, is a man whose neck really does defy science, Adam Schiff, just yesterday morning.
Oh, my God.
Between the two of these people, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they have betrayed an ally at war. What they have done with Ukraine has been just shameful. This president who claims
looks
that
like a
he's
bobblehead.
the great
He does. He's in the back window of a Chevy.
Part of the deal
On
has
Sunset
been
Boulevard.
sabotaging Ukraine in advance of any peace negotiation.
Sabotaging. Okay.
How does he still have a
Marco
job?
Rubio, Elon Musk talking about how Ukraine is going to have to give up its territory, talking about how Ukraine's not going to become a member of NATO, essentially undercutting them in every way, withdrawing military support, withdrawing intelligence support, withdrawing diplomatic support. And we're supposed to believe, as Donald Trump just said in that interview, that no one's ever been tougher on Russia.
I will tell you, that is a neck where that man has had to proactively avoid any active labor.
That's true, yeah.
It just doesn't occur anywhere in nature.
It'll pop off.
So that's his statement. And then 6 hours later, only 6 hours, brings us to now. 6 hours. Ukraine agreed to the proposed from the United States ceasefire deal.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes to peace. The ball's now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Rubio also posted this on X. The ball is now in Russia's court. So remember all the people were saying, hey, why are they siding with... Well, at one point, Putin said that they would come to the table. And now, okay, your move. By the way, this administration also restored funding and intelligence sharing to Ukraine. So you play ball, you come in, you try and embarrass our president and vice president in our own Oval Office. Yeah. Guess what? Things don't go well. You do the right thing. Okay, it's stick and carrot. Now, just to give you an idea as to how this narrative has flipped, you have this they call him the Putin whisperer. He doesn't have an official role, but he basically is kind of official. Alexander Dugin, right? He wrote 1 week ago, just 1 week ago. This is the second overlay. He wrote, great speech of Trump. Now it is not only about politics, but about ideology, new values, traditional, American, new law, new economy, new geopolitics, new approach to administration, new tariffs, politic, new America, golden age for some, for others, the end of their world. This is a pro-Russia stooge propagandist. But now, just now, he wrote, no MAGA projects, no JFK documents, no Epstein list. Continue to fight evil Russians. Quote, for some reason, give still some more money to fraud midget Zelensky. Great result of American conservative revolution.
I don't think he's a fraudulent midget. He is a midget a little bit.
He definitely is that.
I wouldn't call him a fraud midget.
Yeah. So, again, what do you guys say? Where do you line up? Objectively, at this point, was he a Putin stooge? Or does it now mean that he's a Zelensky stooge? Maybe he foresaw this. Maybe he was actually trying to leverage our position so that we could get a better deal. And even if Russia doesn't agree, we still have this picture of Marco Rubio next to Ukrainian diplomats right here. So there you go. It was weird that the one guy wore the green tie. He's like, I'm going to match the flag.
That guys are massive. Holy cow. What are they feeding you in Ukraine?
They're big people. Well, those people are big. Well, Rubio's not a very large guy.
He's the guy in the middle.
He's decently big. Like, Rubio's no slouch.
It's a Cowboys draft pick.
Yes, he is.
And who's the guy on the right? He looks like photo negative Killer Mike.
Yeah.
It's like Amish. It's like Amish Suge Knight.
He looks like that guy that threw Omar to the helicopter in Scarface.
Yes, exactly. Anything else you wanted to add?
I was just going to say that I hate that the media thinks you can just insult Putin to the negotiating table. Yeah. It's never going to work. Donald Trump has done a good job of wooing them to the negotiating table and then saying, hey, you know what? Nobody's going to be happy with this. Mm-hmm. You had a president, you had an administration, you had an entire European community, you had the entire world basically calling him evil, except for a handful of countries, and they weren't going to be a part of the peace process anyway. And you thought he was going to come to the table and expect a fair deal? You had to reset things a little bit, and it's a little messy in public, but it's working behind the scenes. Yeah. For now. Let's give it a shot.
They say that about mediation, too, in law. Both sides will walk away unhappy. Mm-hmm. That's a good mediation.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy.
And I guess in this case, you're going to have the influencers and people who are actually shills for one side or the other who haven't looked at this objectively. I guess all sides are mad. So good job. This has been Then and Now. Hey, if you enjoyed watching this video, you probably enjoy watching the show. It's live, weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you want that to continue, if you slap like or slap the comment button down there, I'll slap Gerald. Wait, if you don't slap it, I'll slap. Either way, I'm going to slap Gerald.